It's pretty amazing where you find some inspiration. I was reading a article that was produced by the Dean of Middle Eastern Studies, Ancient Middle Eastern Studies of BYU. And I've met the guy a few times, and he's really nice people, but he's really smart too. Does a lot of reading. I hate reading. But he also added into his article some antagonists against Jesus Christ and God, saying that if God is really teaching us, why isn't he here himself doing that part? And they comment on the fact that Jesus is the God incarnate, and he only was here to teach us for like 30, for a couple of years, and then he dies on us. So they kind of just bad-mouthing everything about Jesus Christ and our Father in heaven. But they were talking about the resurrection, and it clued me in on the idea that a lot of times when we think about the resurrection, especially of Jesus Christ. Thank you, Bonnie. I said thanks. But they were talking about, if you think about the resurrection of Jesus Christ, it almost seems like a natural phenomenon, just as much as 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen coming together to make it water. It's almost in that same idea that just naturally happened, where Jesus Christ's physical body just became resurrected. Poof, magic. It doesn't. There's 2 ways of creation that happens. We have the natural causes of plants and male-female interaction, and other life that comes forth. Worms come out of the ground like natural, without any cause that we can see. Science knows what's going on, but they study it. But for the natural man, we only see the worm coming out of the ground. It comes from nowhere. And how they get that long of a worm when it starts out at micro species, or the human being, where it starts out as a single cell or 2 cells coming together, and then all of a sudden you have people like that, Shaquille O'Neal and people like that, big guys. But it all starts at the beginning. Everything starts at the beginning. And again, it's all right. Giggling's good. Giggling's good. Just pay attention a little bit while I'm talking. But anyway, so again, you have those kinds of creation where it just comes naturally because the instinct of the molecular structure of the molecule, and then you have this intelligent design where man has figured out how to take plants and splice them so that we can make a higher yield and a more hardy plant, like corn, especially is one I know because I'm familiar with it. We had to get rid of about 3 million pounds of corn because it was crossed with peanut gene. So you can only feed it to cattle.
Wait, corn is peanut?
Well, they spliced it so that because peanuts have a element in there that it keeps the bugs. It keeps the bugs from eating it. All right, but so they spliced it with corn. And they made the corn so it wouldn't be eaten by bugs, all right? And they feed that to cattle. But you can't put the 2 crops together. You can't put the crops for man here and then right next door put the crops for only animals because pollination and all that. Yes?
What did it taste like?
I didn't hear. What did you say?
What did it taste like?
It's still the same thing. It's still corn.
It probably tastes.
It's just a couple of genetic parts of the peanut just added to.
Why can't you eat it then?
It's because people are allergic to peanuts. No, you're fine. Don't be embarrassed. Some people. So you can't sell it to Taco Bell and stuff like that when you grind it up for cornmeal, because if people eat cornmeal, with peanut, genetically altered peanut or corn, then it just, then what happens is they get sick from it. So that's why. But I'm just saying, but back to back where we're trying to talk about. So we know that we have intelligent design because man is even doing it themselves. And we know that God brought forth the earth, the moon, the stars, the animals, man, plants, and all these things. But he was intelligently designing these things to bring them forth. Let's go back to the resurrection. Back to the resurrection, guys. This is the important part.
The peanuts are corn.
Peanuts are.
Or cornuts.
Mixed together.
Let's go. Well, I'll explain that stuff later if you want to talk about marathon. It's a little bit more complicated.
But corn does look like cornuts though. Huh.
Corn, they make the corn can some corn. I worked at the corn plant up
They
the
look
road
like
here,
kernels.
and it's just a kernel of corn. Is all it is. It's not. It's actually a kernel of corn.
Wait, so corn is popcorn?
It's a kernel of corn. That's it. There's. Hey, let me get back to Jesus. All right, that's what this is about. The resurrection. Hey, listen up. So, I'm sorry we get off track. All right. So we gotta stay focused on what we're trying to talk about. So in order for Jesus Christ to be transformed into a resurrected being, it had to be intelligently altered. His physical body had to be intelligently altered so it could take on an immortal existence. It wasn't a magician who just says poof and all of a sudden it happens. There was actually an intelligence out there that said this body will become altered so it can take on the spirit and have eternal life.
It was a miracle.
We call it miracle because we don't know the science.
Huh?
We call things miracles from God because we don't understand the science behind it.
What about my basketball?
So you don't believe in miracles from God?
Miracles can't happen. You didn't say that.
No, man.
No, you-
There's things that we don't understand that God can do. Is that right?
yeah.
So that's why it's a miracle.
That's what I'm saying. So I say with God, all things are possible. So if God does it, I don't see where the miracles. I knew He could do it.
Yeah, but you were saying right now it was like magic. It was magic.
No, I said what the idea is in the world is the resurrection is some kind of magic trick. But when actually God was able to transform the body so that it could make a body that would accept the spirit in a way to bring about the resurrection and the physical presence He has in the universe. So that's what I'm saying. So, like I said, there's things that we don't understand that God can do, but if you understand that words that says with God all things are possible, then whenever God says He's going to do something, for me, I don't see it as a miracle. God said He was going to do it. He got it done. Why would I think it's a miracle? If God said that the man was going to be resurrected on the third day, well, guess what? Why would I doubt that?
But the thing is, a miracle is something that,
We don't understand intellectually.
no, it's something that God can do, but we can't do.
Okay, Brother Mark.
We can't do miracles.
Exactly. I'm just saying, He does it, but He does it because He's intelligent enough to do it. And we don't have any kind of intelligence, is that right?
Yeah.
Actually, we could do miracles. We don't have that create. Yeah, we could create miracles.
We can create genetically altered corn, but we can't.
But that's not a miracle. That's like a,
God can create the corn from the very microorganism that
see, a
exists.
miracle, He could create it out of nothing. We have to.
Nothing.
Exactly.
No, nothing
Get
does.
up there and preach.
You cannot. Okay, so if you want this debate, we'll go. It will take about 5 minutes. Hold on. We're not done. We ain't done. We ain't done.
No, I'm helping you out.
Hold on. Get back on the stage, or we ain't going to keep.
By man's definition, literally, a miracle is a surprising and unwelcome event that is not explicable by natural or scientific laws, and is therefore considered to be the work of a divine agency. So that's what he's saying.
It's a work of God. So
It's a work of God. So it's a work of miracle by man's definition. So we define it a miracle because we can't do it ourselves,
But God
but
knows how
he
he does
can.
it. God knows how he does it.
We know how to do a miracle too.
Okay, so anyway, hold on. Now we gotta get back to the basketball thing.